So, Nathan, you have this wonderful class on schoolism, designing environments with Nathan Fowkes. I once heard you say that an environment should almost be like a supporting actor in a way. Can you
Yes,
elaborate?
absolutely. And this is very important to me personally because I'm not a primary character designer. I paint lots of characters into my scenes, but I'm usually not the person who originally designed the character. Those things are compartmentalized. And so as a concept artist, I do a lot with environments. And I'll tell you this, Bobby. I thought in the beginning, I absolutely thought that if I can get the color, the light, the big epic, the warmth, the cools, if I can get that visual richness into the environments, I thought that I thought that would be the thing. I thought that I could be the hero of the department. But what would happen is we would have the pitch meetings. I'd show my environments, and it would go good. They'd say, "Oh wow, yeah, well, we like it. We um, uh, let's definitely pursue this direction. I mean, maybe you could make it a little bit warmer, but great." And then okay, next, and the next, the character designers would do their pitch, and I thought, in my delusions of grandeur, I thought and hoped that maybe they would say, Nathan, we didn't know we had a movie until you showed us these environments that are beyond our imagination. We're going to greenlight the movie based on these amazing places that you've taken us to. That's my delusion of grandeur there. And then I'd get the response that I just described. It's good, good, thank you, appreciate your work. But then the character designers would present their work and people would clap, the producers, they'd clap, they'd cheer, they'd laugh, and they actually would say, we didn't know we had a movie until you've shown us these characters. And now you've given us a character that we can build a movie around. We can build a franchise, a trilogy, a franchise, you know, uh, and I'd be sitting in the corner, grr. So what I learned the hard way, because I did not understand this early in my career, and it took me way too long to figure it out. I had to learn to beat these guys at their own game if I was going to be appreciated as an artist. And if I would be able to, even more important, to do that primary thing that artists have to do, which is engage your audience. Reach out and grab them, connect with them emotionally. And so what I gradually dawned on me was you treat the environment same way you treat a character. A tree can and should have an emotion. A tree has a character pose. It should. A building, a rock, anything. And I'll mention, this isn't someone I know personally, but a friend of mine, a French artist who I work with, he has a friend back in France who was a character designer and then he got into 3D modeling and really loved 3D modeling. And he no longer, it didn't have to be characters. He did all 3D modeling, architecture, everything. And he became this highly sought after 3D modeling. This is when, Mudbox and some of the more versatile and intuitive programs kind of came online several years back. This is a guy who was on the forefront of that. And he became this incredibly valuable 3D modeler. Why? Because he treated every single thing he designed, tree, rock, mountain, building, he gave it a character pose. He made sure that it had an emotion that fit the scene. And so, boom, he had that connection with his audience. And so that's what I finally figured out and started doing. Uh, Everything comes back to character. It makes sense. One thing that people are particularly good at, you look at a face, you look at expression, and we have the ability to draw a tremendous amount of information just from a simple expression. I think it's kind of a survival trait. In history, I think it's been rather than wild animals in the environment. I think maybe it's been other people that make or break you throughout all of history. And so you got to be able to look at other people and judge their intentions. And so, and it's not just their face, it's their stance. You give that stance to a building and it's a threat, or it's a friend, or it is ominous. And all of a sudden, you don't have to have a degree in architecture, and all of a sudden, you're an architecture designer who's sought after because your architecture just connects with people. And so I remember when we started How to Train Your Dragon, that was a show at DreamWorks. It was in production for 7 years. My first assignment was designing Dragon Island, working on Dragon Island. And so it needed to feel like dragons. It needed to be ominous. It needed to be threatening. And as the boat floats through the mist to the island and these big craggy rocks appear, they need to kind of look like dragons in the mist. Their shape has to have a character, a threat. And then the audience will really viscerally feel the emotion that they have to have for that to be successful. How to Train Your Dragon, like I said, it was a show that it was in production for 7 years, and was. I hope everyone likes it. I hope people like how it came out. It was an audience and a critical success. We are very proud of that. But I will say it was a heart-rending, bone-crushing production. We went through 3 sets of directors. The story went this way. It went that way. It went the other way. But the very first thing I wrote on the very first day, I wrote rock language. My rocks have to have their own visual language. And so that's what we did. And in an early version of the script, when the characters went inside of Dragon Island, the script was that there are these stalactites that hang down from the ceiling. And in the darkness and in the mist, they look like stalactites. But then as the characters come closer and make a little bit of noise, all of a sudden they burst out like bats. And it turns out they're not stalactites. They're hanging dragons who are asleep. And the characters and the audience all thought they were rocks. And that was a version we played with for a while. But then they changed the script. And in my opinion, they changed it to something better. What they did, we did exactly the same design. We designed those hanging rocks, those hanging stalactites, to look like they were hanging dragons. In this version, they really were just rocks. But the characters, you couldn't tell. The audience couldn't tell. The characters couldn't tell. And so the characters in the movie, in this version of the script, they responded with the appropriate scare and spookiness. They responded to these rocks, just dumb rocks, but they responded to them as if they were characters. And so that's why I like to use the turn of phrase that environment design is like, and maybe even is, a supporting character in the show, because the characters have to respond to their environment to really create that engaging presence in the movie, in the same way that they might engage and respond with other actors on the show.
What a great explanation. How to Train Your Dragon is one of my top favorite animated movies, and your story actually makes me want to, I think I'm going to go watch How to Train Your Dragon now. So thank you very much for your time, Nathan. It's been a pleasure.
Hi, my name's Nathan Fowkes. I'm a concept artist in the entertainment industry, working for major animation studios. This has given me the opportunity to design environments for projects that I am very proud of, and I hope you've enjoyed as well. I also work as a teacher and a consultant for game and animation studios worldwide. I've had the great opportunity to travel all over the world to teach art departments the craft of location design so that they can work towards creating environments that thrill their audience. And now it's your turn. I'm very excited to bring you this 9-week course where our goal is to show you how to engage your audience through the design of extraordinary locations. We'll make a serious exploration of designing space, landscape, and architecture as we go through the step-by-step process of bringing your location designs to life. I've included numerous demonstrations to show you how to create and organize challenging concept art subject matter. So whether you're dealing with sophisticated architecture, busy foliage, or a landscape filled with dozens of characters, this class will give you the concepts you need to meet that challenge. And the class will be much more than just the technical nuts and bolts of set and location design. We'll make a careful study of how to create and compose compelling sketches and final presentation art that will bring your concept art portfolio to life. And we'll cover one additional area that will be very important to your career. I'll show you how the production pipeline works at an entertainment design studio and how you can play a key role in that process. We'll go through the entire process of developing environments for a story idea, through thumbnail comps to final set design. So we'll cover a lot of ground during our 9 weeks together, and I'm looking forward to working with you personally. Each week I'll give you critiques and do paint-overs of your work so that you have the feedback that you need to reach a professional level of artistic ability. Enrollment is limited, so sign up today and I will see you soon.